Nile River, the longest river in the world, called the father of African rivers. It rises south of the equator and flows northward through northeastern Africa to drain into the Mediterranean Sea. It has a length of about 4,132 miles, 6,650 kilometers, and drains an area estimated at 1,293,000 square miles, 3,340,000 square kilometers. Its basin includes parts of Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Sudan, and the cultivated part of Egypt. Its most distant source is the Kagera River in Burundi, Arabic, Nahr Akbara, which flow from the highlands of Ethiopia, and the White Nile Arabic, Al-Bahr al-Abayad, the head streams of which flow into Lakes Victoria and Albert. The name Nile is derived from the Greek Nilus Latin, Nilus, which probably originated from the Semitic root Nol, meaning a valley or a river valley, and hence, by an extension of the meaning, a river. The fact that the Nile, unlike other great rivers known to them, flowed from the south northward and was in flood at the warmest time of the year was an unsolved mystery to the ancient Egyptians and Greeks. The ancient Egyptians called the river Ar, or Coptic, Iaro, black, in allusion to the color of the sediments carried by the river when it is in flood. Nile mud is black enough to have given the land itself its oldest name, Kemor Kemi, which also means black and signifies darkness. In the Odyssey, the epic poem written by the Greek poet Homer, 7th century BCE, Aegyptos is the name of the Nile masculine, as well as the country of Egypt feminine through which it flows. The Nile in Egypt and Sudan is now called Al-Nain, Al-Bahr, and Bahr al-Nain or Nahr al-Nain. Signifies darkness. In the Odyssey, the epic poem written by the Greek poet Homer, 7th century BCE, Aegyptos is the name of the Nile masculine, as well as the country of Egypt feminine through which it flows. The Nile in Egypt and Sudan is now called Al-Nain, Al-Bahr, and Bahr al-Nain or Nahr al-Nain. The basin is bordered on the north by the Mediterranean, on the east by the Red Sea Hills and the Ethiopian Plateau, on the south by the East African Highlands, which include Lake Victoria and Nile Source, and on the west by the less well-defined watershed between the Nile, Chad, and Congo basins, extending northwest to include the Mera Mountains of Sudan, the Al-Jil Folkaba Plateau of Egypt, and the Libyan desert part of the Sahara. The availability of water from the Nile throughout the year, combined with the area's high temperatures, makes possible intensive cultivation along its banks. Even in some of the regions in which the average rainfall is sufficient for cultivation, marked annual variations in precipitation often make cultivation without irrigation risky. The Nile River is also a vital waterway for transport, especially at times when motor transport is not feasible, for example, during the flood season. Improvements in air, rail, and highway facilities beginning in the 20th century, however, greatly reduced dependency on the waterway.